You're listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
It is Friday. It's not Flannel Friday yet.
No, but it's in the 60s overnight now. For now, I should say.
It's a little fog out there today.
It's fantastic. Like, it's August and it almost feels like fall. Yeah. There were some leaves on the ground the other day. I was almost giddy. I kind of love fall.
It has been relatively nice here in the mornings, at least, until it's about 80, 90, 100 in the afternoon.
Yeah, no big deal. Like 100%
Enough about the
humidity.
weather. Doing important things to stay well. That's why we're talking about weather, because both of us like to be outside
exactly.
and enjoy the weather and doing those things to be well. And helping us be well, Deaconess Heidi Goehmann, licensed clinical social worker, and all things wellness. Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning. Always good to be with you guys. I also am looking forward to a change in seasons. I think changes in seasons are one way that God keeps us well. Just something a little different sometimes to bring our minds like back to the present, and focus in. So that's my clinical take on that. I like seasons because I like food.
Everything is about food.
New food. Yep.
I change bikes, you change food.
You change bikes for season?
Well, yeah.
You have to have a different bike for each season?
Well, it's a different racing season. We could go down a rabbit hole with that. Let's talk about wellness.
Don't do it.
It's like saying I have to have a different car for a new season like that. Oh, boy.
I really do have to change tires.
So not too long ago was the LCMS convention, the 67th regular convention of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. I hear you were there chatting with folks. Tell us about your visits. Did you get to visit with people and doing the thing that you always do, talking about wellness? Did you talk about wellness with some of those who were attending?
Yeah, it was really great. I had an awesome team to be a part of at the LCMS booth itself. And so we were able to talk to people who came by, find out about their context and what's going on in their ministries and their families and in their individual lives. And then, of course, talking about everything that's going on with wellness, both within the LCMS and then how that can connect to their life a little bit better, what resources we have. And I think the coolest part for me was to be able to hear people's stories and to see that, wellness a couple years ago, even I would say when I really started getting into this for the LCMS itself, as a contract worker was still not always on people's radar. You would bring it up and they'd be like, oh, yeah, I guess, whatever. But this time, every single person I talked to, knew they needed wellness and also knew that we needed to focus on it as part of the work, the mercy work of our synodical body. And that was whoa, for me, that was so edifying to see the shift in culture and attitudes toward the idea of wellness. And I think that's a really good thing that says that we do have really good resources and people are accessing them. And we just have to kind of keep that going. And then also, adding new things from our research that we've done now to be able to understand what people need and everything. So that was really, really edifying. And I always, me, I love meeting people and talking to people and hearing their stories. So that was the bee's knees.
Wait, you like talking to people? No way.
I know, it's shocking.
That is a really great thing, though, that there's a shift towards people understanding the importance of wellness. What were some of did you hear any ideas from people of things that would be useful or things that they had seen other people doing that we can incorporate into our church worker wellness?
Yeah, I think there's still a stigma around therapy and mental health. Mm-hmm. However, I heard a lot of people that just blanketly said yeah, I started seeing this therapist and wow, that really helped a lot. And so that says something. I feel when people are willing to say that out loud, and the more people we have saying that out loud, the more it normalizes it. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that therapy is for wellness. It's not for a deficit. We don't wait until, our lives are falling apart to go to the therapy. Most of the people I talked to, that wasn't their reality. Instead, it's like the Spirit's prodding, and you get into the Word and you read it and you just know you need help sorting through it. And so you go see your pastor and you have confession and you meet together in Bible study with other people. And then there's this other element that we call therapy, which is someone helping you kind of sort through those relationships and that walk that you have. And so that was really cool to hear people just say that out loud. And I'd like to see a little bit more of that. The other thing I heard them say were the names of the resources that we have within the LCMS in our RSOs and such that they had utilized, like Concordia Plan Services or the Wellness Champions program that they have, or Grace Place Wellness, Doxology, Shepherd's Canyon. To hear people saying them out loud, that was really good. That's a good sign, because that means that they know it's available, and also they can tell their neighbor in ministry or their congregation members or whoever they're surrounded by that is also available. And, just as we know, I can advertise what we have like crazy, but if someone tells you that they utilized it and that it was a useful resource for them, like, people are hundreds of times more likely to pick it up. And that's what we want to see happening.
So one of the things you got to share there at the convention is building up the body. I heard that you were joyfully giving out copies of Building Up the Body, which is a book, but it's also a blog as well. So our listeners can get the same thing that's in the book is in the blog on. And so tell us about this, Building Up the Body. What is this?
Yeah, this is part of the initiative that we have. So every Thursday on LCMS social media, and then hopefully we'll have things to go out to congregations for bulletins and things like that soon. But it's a prayer initiative for us to remember to pray for our workers and to pray for one another in the body of Christ around the work that we're doing alongside of each other for that. And then we also have weekly devotions. And I believe those go out on LCMS social media on Mondays and on the blog on Mondays. And you can subscribe to that. Head over to the Leader blog, look for one of the wellness devotions. It should pop up right away on the Reporter online, and then it will come, directly to you. I think that being able to hear the voice of other workers saying, both the joy that they find in their walk, in their daily life, in their faith, but also in their family and in their ministry is a really powerful thing and really encouraging. Again, it normalizes the struggle and the joy that we have each day. And so they're just wellness devotionals. And we have the Wholeness Wheel, which you can find at lcms.org/wellness, that many Lutherans worked on that are smarter than me, like years ago. And so they developed this circular way of understanding the different parts of our lives and our bodies and our faith walk that need to be addressed for wellness. And so it's always the baptismal identity is the core, spiritual wellness is all around it, but there's financial wellness and relational wellness and emotional wellness and all those things. And so all the devotions follow that wholeness wheel and address each of those areas. And so while it gets us in the Word, which is, the primary thing, it also gives us a little education about what we might need in our life for that area of wellness. And so those are a really cool addition. We're always looking for new authors. We currently have over 60 devotions available. So it'll come out once a week for a year on the blog, but then we want to add to it. We want to make this perpetual and to hear from people who just want to encourage each other. It's such a good thing to know that we're not alone, that we're not isolated in ministry or in this body. And then those devotions can be used in a church meeting. Pastors and church workers are constantly pulling out a devotion to utilize. And so if one they are this applies to my congregational context in this time and place, then use it. That's what it's there for. So we also want to give you a resource to use in your ministry. Doubly useful, The book was available at convention. And we are so thankful to LCF for sponsoring that. And it is only available through that means. And then LCMS Communications is working on another way that it's going to be available through other means. And so otherwise, just go to the blog and check it out and subscribe to LCMS, I said subscribe, but like and follow the LCMS Facebook page. You can get them on there and everything too. So Building Up the Body is the name of that booklet and the blog that's with it. And it's just a really joyful thing to see the body of Christ working together on this piece of things. And I feel like most church work vocations are represented in it, including the family members of church workers and missionaries and, directors of Christian outreach and church musicians. Like, it's very wide and broad as far as the vocations represented. And I really, really like that.
So speaking of talking about mental health, we have like less than a minute left. But
no, that's the best part.
I know, right? But coming up in the next month or two, we're going to be offering something along these same lines here. Talk about what we're going to be doing on Mondays or topics here on the Coffee Hour.
Yeah, I'm totally stoked. I have a live video version called Mental Health Mondays on the Heidi Goehmann Writes Facebook page and on the YouTube channel. But we are also going to tackle it here on the Coffee Hour and talk about mental health, whether that's for work or wellness or in the congregational context and life together in the body of Christ. And this is a topic that's been a long time in coming. And so I'm really excited to gather around with you around mental health itself and God building us up and working in that body with Jesus's redemption.
Deaconess Heidi Goehmann, licensed clinical social worker, author of a couple of great books you can find at CPH as well, and HeidiGoehmann.com. Thanks so much, Heidi, for being with us on the Coffee Hour. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Well, that does it for today. Monday, interesting
Monday's
story.
coming.
Monday is coming. Interesting story that we got to record this week. Get to share on Monday. Learn all about why I eat the weird way that I do. It's not why you think. It's not because I'm a picky eater. Thanks for joining us for the Coffee Hour. Have a great weekend. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.